My name is Aiden Bell, and I will be arguing for why social media is bad for society. My three main points that I'm going to talk about in my side of the debate are going to be addiction, comparison, and online harassment. My first point is addiction. Addiction is one of the leading problems that users face with the that we have with social media. When social media starts to become habituative, which is like checking it periodically throughout the day, maybe even once or twice a day, it can still start to affect our daily lives and spill into our interactions with others. Dr. Mark D. Griffiths from Psychology Today describes on how habitual use can lead to addiction. However, many people's social media use is habitual, and it can start to spill into other areas of our lives and be problematic and dangerous, such as checking social media while driving. Other behaviors may be annoying rather than dangerous, but can still be indicative of problematic social media use, such as checking social media while eating out with friends or constantly checking your phone during a movie. Others may snub social contact with their loved ones and friends and prefer to check out social media on their smartphone instead, so-called phubbing. The fact that we are starting to classify social media addiction symptoms that are synonymous with drug use is enough to be a red flag that we need to be talking about, and how we can lessen the effect of our social media addiction. While social media affects our outside world and the relationships in it, such as checking on Instagram while we're with friends or spending hours staring at a screen, we start to lose our humanity. The second point I'd like to talk about is comparison. Social media warrants a society of comparison, and that comparison can have a negative effect on you and the ones around you. Forbes writer Alice Walton comments on the 2014 study, Seeing Everyone Else's Highlight Reels, how Facebook usage is linked to depressive symptoms. It turned out that both types of comparisons made people feel worse, which is surprising since in real life, only upward comparisons, feeling another person has it better than you, makes people feel bad. But in social network world, it seems that any kind of comparison is linked to depressive symptoms. The amount of times that we check Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter fuels the upward or downward comparisons that lead to a negative effect on mental health and the relationships we have formed online. When we look on someone else's profile and see that they have something we don't, or that they're more attractive than we are, or that they have more followers than us, social media leads us to believe that we are worth less than another is. On the downward comparison, we would become culprits of the very thing that affects us and can be the gateway into mental health problems. The third point I'm going to make is online harassment. Social media can be a very special place where connections are made and relationships are built. However, it can also be a place where people are scared to go and feel insecure or unsafe. Online harassment is an epidemic in the social media world because of the anonymity of users and the bubble of protection harassers think they have when they don't talk face to face. Bailey Parnell, speaker at TEDx Ricerson U, comment on how online harassment is hurting our mental health.
But what if going on social every day was a terrifying experience, where you not just questioned your self-worth, but you questioned your safety? Perhaps the worst stressor on social media is number 4, online harassment. 40% of online adults have experienced online harassment. 73% have witnessed it. And the unfortunate reality is that it is much worse and much more likely if you're a woman, LGBTQ, person of color, Muslim. I think you get the point. The problem is that in the news, we're seeing these big stories. We're seeing the 18-year-old Tyler Clementes who took his life after his roommate secretly filmed him kissing another guy and outed him on Twitter. We see women like Anita Sarkeesian being close to shamed off the internet and sent death and rape threats for sharing their feminism. We see these stories once it's too late. But what about the everyday online harassment? What about that ugly Snapchat you sent your friend with the intention of it being private, and now it's up on Facebook? And so it's just one photo. It's funny. It's just one mean comment. It's not a big deal. But when these micro moments happen over and over again over time, that's when we have a macro problem.
Social media users have the power to encourage great change, but also to shame, emotionally hurt, or harass someone. The consequences from being a victim of that harassment can lead to depression, anxiety, or even death. Social media is negative because it has the power to influence someone's mental health for the worst. It can become addictive and start to control our lives, and also leads each user to compare to one another and make others feel less. Thank you.